maximum 1.5 hour Arauco Valley. Our people are the best hosts anyway. Around 25-30 countries.
Go out on a limb, and I'm going to make a few predictions. So please join. In our second scene, an aircraft is halfway across the ocean when it detects that a critical part must be replaced on arrival. The airline's advanced procurement system scans the internet for civil aviation authority approved providers of that required part. The system then negotiates pricing, terms, and conditions, selects a provider, and incorporates the terms into a legally enforceable online smart contract. The part's design is then downloaded to a 3D printer at the airport, and the part is waiting when the aircraft arrives. In our third scene, a young couple is buying a new home. They first solicit offers from qualified mortgage providers by authorizing them to securely review their online credit histories. Each mortgage provider responds with approval for a specified purchase price range. The couple then visits houses via virtual reality and selects one they'll go see in person. On their way, they request a title search to be done and ask each mortgage provider to propose a mortgage plan for this specific property. On arrival, they're delighted to find that the house is just as nice as they had anticipated. They agree on a purchase price with the seller and select a mortgage plan, and since the title search has already been completed by this time, they close the deal on the spot, again, via digital signatures on their smartphones. No paperwork, no real estate brokers, no attorneys, and no keys are even exchanged, as the house and all of its systems are now controlled via their own biometrics, fingerprints, voice prints, facial recognition, retinal scans. What will make these extraordinary examples of innovation possible? Well, certainly a variety of technologies come into play that are transformational in their nature. 3D printing, virtual reality, biometrics, artificial intelligence. But there's one other technology that underlies all of these. And it's a technology that is beginning to be recognized as the most important to emerge since the internet itself. It's a technology that enables not only the digital transformation of business processes and organizations, but entire business and social ecosystems. And while it's been around for nearly a decade, most people have only heard of it in the past year or two. It's called blockchain technology. And no less reputable a publication than The Economist magazine has stated that blockchain is quite simply the most important advance in record keeping since the invention of the double-entry bookkeeping system in Florence, Italy, in 1494, over 500 years ago. Even just last month, Fortune magazine had their cover story on blockchain mania, how this revolutionary technology is transforming business, why everyone from Wall Street to Walmart is betting on it. When I had the chance to keynote the Global Blockchain Week conference in London back in January, I pointed out that wherever people, processes, businesses, governments, or the social good requires proof of identity, of ownership, of transactions, or of contractual commitments. Blockchain technologies promise to meet those needs with a degree of trust and integrity never before possible. So what is it that blockchain does that makes it possible to achieve those objectives? Blockchain technologies do four key things. First, they provide a permanent, immutable, signed and time-stamped record of identity, ownership, transactions, or commitments. Secondly, they allow that information to be shared among two or more entities, people, businesses, governmental agencies, other organizations, without any of the participants in that ecosystem having to depend on any one of the others to be the master record keeper, and without having to pay a third-party intermediary to perform that job. Third, they do so in such a way that that information can be made globally available with complete transparency for all those in the ecosystem so authorized to see that information. And for that subset of those people that are allowed to actually update that information, while at the same time providing unhackable security against those not authorized to update or even see that information. Now, as soon as I use the word unhackable, people immediately say, oh, no, you can't say that, because any computer can be hacked. And that's the beauty of blockchain, because blockchain data is not stored on any computer. It's stored on many computers. In fact, blockchains maintain multiple identical copies of the blockchain data distributed across numerous nodes or locations all over the internet. Depending on the implementation, it can be anywhere from dozens to hundreds to thousands of nodes. And every time records are added to the blockchain, those additions are replicated at every node within minutes. Advanced cryptography and synchronization technologies ensure that every node remains identical to all of the rest. So if you're going to try to hack a blockchain, it's not enough to hack a single computer. You've got to hack a majority of all of the hundreds or thousands of computers in any particular blockchain, and you've got to do it simultaneously, and you've got to do it within the very few minutes available between the times that those nodes synchronize within one another, with each other. One physicist has estimated that if you take the case of the oldest and largest blockchain out there, the Bitcoin blockchain, that the amount of energy that would be required to simultaneously hack a majority of the 7,000 nodes on the Bitcoin blockchain, to drive the amount of computing power that would be needed to do that successfully within 10 minutes, is roughly equal to the amount of energy emitted during that same period of time by the sun. So, does that mean it is theoretically impossible to hack the blockchain? No, of course not. But it's economically impossible. We now have security multiple orders of magnitude greater than anything that's been available to us previously for the sharing of information across business ecosystems. And that is one of the great values of blockchain technology. Now, as I mentioned Bitcoin, it's a common misconception that Bitcoin and blockchain are one and the same. Bitcoin is only one of thousands of potential applications of blockchain technology across industries and around the world. But once people realized that blockchain could be used for managing digital currencies, they said, why can't we use it for other things also? Such as electronic medical records for our young lady having the orthodontic treatments, 3D printing design files to enable us to download the design for the airplane part with 3D printer at the airport, or land titles to allow us to conclude real estate transactions in minutes rather than weeks or months. In fact, living in Atlanta, I was pleasantly surprised just a few months ago to read an article about how Georgia was expanding its project to secure land titles on the Bitcoin blockchain. I didn't even realize, living right there in Atlanta, Georgia, that they were working on that until I read more closely and realized, oops, wrong Georgia. They were talking about the nation of Georgia in Western Asia, not the state of Georgia in the southeastern United States. But it did mark the first time a national government used the Bitcoin blockchain to secure governmental applications. Something for Andhra Pradesh to consider pursuing, not only for the security of land titles, but also facilitate the entire real estate process. Something else that can be stored on blockchain is smart contracts.